We keep on moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down. We ain't slowing down. Moving, we keep on moving along, we keep on rolling. Yeah, no, we ain't slowing it down. Let's go.
We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I'm ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling. No, gotta keep it moving like we stole it. Though, rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are in a scope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving,
moving.
we keep on moving along.
Keep it moving, keep it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it moving,
it
we
down.
ain't never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving,
Moving,
we keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
We ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving,
moving.
we keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
Rolling.
rolling. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein Island, mate? Oh yes, they've all been there, haven't they? They've all been there, all of them. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever and whatever you're doing in the world. I hope you are well. And we have a few people popping in straight away, which is good to see. Ruby Dog's mum is here. Oh yeah. I have a suspicion who that is. Oh yeah, what's that? Yes, I have a suspicion who that is. And then we've got two Shies here, everyone. Oh yes, two Shies here. Then we have the wonderful, the beautiful, the marvellous, the incredibly sweaty Beth Gish.
What?
She'll appreciate it. Don't worry, mate. She'll appreciate it. She's got a good sense of humour. Allegedly. Anyway, so how are we all doing? I am doing really well. It's really getting warm again, which is par for the course at this point, to be fair. It is what it is, you know what I mean? And there's still no rain. But we'll get into that later. I've got a little thing on that a little bit later. Is the audio all right? I hope it's all right. So, where are we with everything in the world? Well, where are we? Should we get straight into it? I think we should, because this one is a bit weird. Every day, nothing surprises me anymore. I'll be honest, nothing surprises me anymore. We're in clown world, full on, absolutely at full speed clown world. It just continues. Every single day there's something. Every day, without fail, there's something. And this something is this. Labour doubles down on putting 1,250 migrants, are they migrants or are they illegal immigrants? I don't know. In a village of 400. Yeah, you can't really make it up, can you?
What?
I know. A village of 1,250 people, a village of 400 people is having 1,250 migrants, right? Are they do we know they are? Have they got any identification? Did they come in legally into this country? Are they legally here? You know, there's a lot of questions around this. We'll see if this answers any of those questions. I haven't read it. Newly elected Prime Minister, this bloke.
Imagine no more.
I tell you what, Andy, imagine living in a village of 400 people and then you drop 1,240, is it? 50, sorry. Migrants. We'll say migrants because that's what it's worded as. I don't necessarily agree with that term, but we'll use that term for the rules. For the... what do you mean dark here? What's going on? 5x5, dark here. I have no idea. Oh, it's supposed to be some sort of eclipse, isn't there? I'm not really fussed. Are you bothered about it? It's like the sun just does something for a minute because of the thing. Is that really important? Is it really? Apparently loads of people are... Anyway, whatever. Newly elected Prime Minister, imagine, Burnham, of the United Kingdom has vowed to have wealthier areas also play their part in housing migrants in the country. Not just the lower income neighbourhoods. As part of the plan, 1,250 male migrants are set to be placed in an old military base near Piddington, a village of just 400 people in Oxfordshire County in south-east England. Makes sense, don't it? Yeah. The proposal has caused anger in the small village. Residents have even voted a symbolic referendum to leave the United Kingdom as part of their protest against the migrant placement plans. The scale of the proposed accommodation means that the number of asylum seekers housed near the village could be more than 3 times its population. What could possibly go wrong? Who is responsible for this insanity? Defending the plans on a talk radio station, how can you defend these plans? How can you defend this? On a talk radio station, LBC, on the morning of Wednesday the 12th of August, Home Office Minister Anne Turley argued that asylum seekers needed to be distributed more evenly across Britain. Well, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be interesting, isn't it? When we see all the middle and upper middle classes start getting a lot of their migrants. See, I think, personally, what should happen first? If we're going to be talking about it being fair, which Labour are saying, it needs to be fair, right? If it's going to be fair, what we should do is all of the politicians should have to house them first. Yes, they should have to house some... they get paid second homes, right? They should have to take in some migrants. And they shouldn't be able to choose who. There should be like a tombola, right? And they should all be given the numbers. The numbers!
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
Yes, all be given the numbers. And then you draw the numbers, and then they should have to have the numbers that are drawn for their property. And they should have to house them. Absolutely, guaranteed. Then, we can't complain. Because they are setting the example, aren't they? They are setting the example to everyone. We're happy to have them, so why can't you lot? Are they going to do that? Of course they're not going to do that. This is about fairness, she said. See, fairness. Stressing the need for a fair and equitable system that spreads asylum seekers across the country while limiting the impact on individual communities. Start with her house. Start with her house first. Ask about the prospect of accommodating 3 times as many asylum seekers as there are residents in Piddington. Turley pointed out that the migrants would not actually be housed within the village itself, but at the former military site. Oh, are they going to be contained in there, are they? So they're going to be contained in this military site? They're not going to be allowed out then, are they? To wander around late at night, round by the children's parks and things like that, are they? Are they going to be allowed to do that? So what difference does it make? She was subsequently asked whether the asylum seekers would be permitted to leave the site. It's like I've got a magic ball, isn't it? Turley confirmed that they would. However, she also added that the facility would provide everything they needed and thus its residents would be managed and contained. So they're going to be provided everything they need. Everything they need. Wouldn't that be nice for some of our homeless people? If they were put into a military base and they were provided with everything they need. Everything. So what does that mean? Everything. Well, if we take the word everything literally, that means clothing, medical, social activities, money, phones, classes, maybe driving licenses, language classes, everything. And who's paying for that? We all are. And who asked you if you wanted it? Nobody. And do you want it? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. I'll be fascinated to know. Turley also defended the government's broader approach of using former military bases, industrial sites and student accommodation to house asylum seekers. According to the minister, such locations would provide more secure and manageable accommodation while costing less than housing migrants in hotels. Really? Really? You think that's going to be better for everybody, do you? We know where people are, we can manage the system, she went on to say. The Labour government's plans to move masses of migrants into wealthier areas of the country have drawn criticism from Conservatives. Of course they have. It's their problem as well. They're no better. They did the same. Boris Johnson, all that lot. Andrea is here, everybody. Good to see you, Andrea. Not out looking at the eclipse. Of course you went, because you're not a moron. Anyway, who have accused it of advocating what they described as a vindictive punishment beating against Britain's middle class, the Daily Mail reports. The government has also announced that asylum accommodation at the Grand Metropole Hotel in Blackpool, United Kingdom, will be closed. So where are they going to put them? They're going to give them houses, are they? Speaking to BBC Breakfast in another recent interview, Minister Turley said communities such as Blackpool, where property prices are relatively low, had already taken their fair share of asylum seekers. She argued that the resulting pressure had placed a huge burden on local communities and contributed to real civil unrest. The minister stressed that local areas would only be expected to accommodate asylum seekers where sufficient capacity exists. She also argued that former military barracks and industrial sites were preferable to using hotels for asylum accommodation. Our priority now is making sure that we look after asylum seekers in a secure place, in a place that is much more appropriate and where we limit the impact on the local communities, the Labour minister said. Really brilliant, aren't they? Well, somebody said the place that should have them all first should be Makerfield, because Makerfield got Burnham in, so they should have them all. They should all go to Makerfield. Everybody, I saw that on X. I thought, yeah, that's a good idea. Turley also addressed the government's efforts to tackle illegal channel crossings during an interview with Times Radio, saying ministers would redouble their efforts to prevent migrants from making the journey to Britain in they're not small boats. That big boat that had 230 of them or something like that on it, that is more than a Ryanair flight. A full Ryanair flight, that's more people on a dinghy going across the channel. Think about that for a minute. Her comments came after a record 230 people arrived in the UK aboard a single small boat. You call that a small boat? Size of a bus, bigger than a bus. Earlier this week, however, Turley claimed that the overall crossings had fallen by 40%. I keep emphasising this. It's not the number of crossings. It's the number of people on the boat on a crossing. The crossings are irrelevant. You could have 10 crossings with 7 people on a boat. You could have 1 crossing with 230 people on a boat. Which one matters the most? God, how do they think we're really this thick? She attributed part of the recent increase in the number of people being placed on individual boats to growing desperation among people smugglers, who she said were forcing more migrants onto increasingly unsafe vessels. How about, right, if you want to combat the human traffickers, these bad people, how about stop giving everything to anyone who comes here illegally? How about that? How about you start saying no benefits, no nothing, just internment. You're going to go into a camp until we can work out what to do with you. You know what I mean? Until we can work. It sounds familiar, don't it? Where have I heard that before?
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
Yeah, well, it seemed to. I'd go for it myself personally. Put them in a camp, give them the basics to live. Just basics, right? To live, water, just the basics of everything, basic medical, basic, no money, no televisions, no allowed out, no nothing, just the basics to keep them alive, and then just until we can go, right, you got a choice. You can stay in here forever, or you can off back wherever you come from. Because we don't know where you come from, because apparently what they do is when they get to the shore, or before, they throw all their crap into the sea. So they've got no identification, nothing. Asylum is here, everybody! Yeah, the camp would have a swimming pool, a theatre and a maternity ward. Don't get me started, Beth Gish, don't get me started on it. So anyway, where are we? According to Minister Turley, smuggling gangs have also begun operating further down the coast. She said the government must therefore remain relentless in our efforts to combat the crossings and avoid becoming complacent despite the progress it has made. This has been going on far too long with far too many, and you're all in on it. How many people went to the Epstein Island, mate? Ah, yeah, it makes you wonder how many of these people are absolutely compromised or in these positions of so-called power. It makes me wonder. Well, I don't wonder. I don't actually wonder. I sort of know what is going on. I know. The fact that I can't say it on here because, no, but I know. In my head, I know exactly what's going on. And there it is. The post-Labour doubles down on putting 1,250 migrants in a village of 400 appeared first on the Hungarian Conservative. Well, anyway, that's where that happened. So, yeah, so there. Yeah, brilliant. Brilliant. Well, we'll get to the next one because I think this is the next one. This is where I'm going to really dig my teeth into this one, I think. Have a look at this. Poorest areas should not house all asylum seekers, says Burnham. Oh, God. He hasn't even got a mandate. He He was elected, we all know this, with about 25,000 Makerfield votes. And then they've just shot him in to be Prime Minister. How is that a thing? How is that even a thing? Prime Minister, this guy again.
Imagine no more.
Imagine no more, Andy. Imagine living in a village of 400 people that you all sort of know each other, and it's all contented and all nice and smiley and pretty much good. And then 1,250, who knows who, but they're all going to be young men, young fighting age men, I can assure you of that, are going to be dumped right next door. That's going to be good, isn't it? Bezic is here, everybody!
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
That was the wrong button, everybody! I'm good at this. Bezic. Evening, Gaz. Glad to catch you having a break from making videos of me playing. I'm auditioning for a rather large tribute band at the minute. Stressed out, man. Having a break from... Right, guys, catch you. Having a break from making videos of me playing. What's that about? So you have to send us a link. Send us a link. We'll have a look. And Beth Gish she's having a breakdown. She's having issues.
Houston, we have a problem.
She's having a problem by the sounds of it. Anyway... So what have we got? Prime Minister Andy Burnham has suggested that wealthier areas of the UK should house asylum seekers. I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with that. I'll clarify everything first. I don't agree that any of them should be here and allowed to stay. That's my main point. None of them should stay. None of them should be paid for. None of this should be happening. It should all be reversed. Everybody out. See you later. Goodbye. Adios. No more in. No more money. No more benefits. No more luxury living. None of it for them. None of it. I don't care. I don't care what anyone says. Right? My taxpayer money. I don't want it spent on that. I want better things happening in this country with the money that it gets from the taxpayer. I don't agree with that. Basically, to me, it's rewarding criminality. That's what it's doing. It's rewarding criminality. Now, I don't blame the people that come here because obviously you're going to do it. Why wouldn't you? If you could do it, you know, if you're going to get all these things, and then they're on their phones, and then they're sending it all back to the people where they come from. Look at this room, look at this food, look at all this stuff, look at the way it is. They're like, come on, let's go. I don't blame them at all, not in the slightest. I blame the politicians. I blame the system, the government. I blame them people. That's all I blame. I hold them responsible, and I hope one day they'll all be held to account, which I very much doubt. So, yes, they should be put, if they're going to be here and they're going to do it, which they're going to do, yes, they should be put in the wealthier areas, because wealthier people have got more influence over decisions. You start putting these people in places of people of prominence in this country, and things start going wrong for their family and their kids and their grandkids and their playgrounds and all that sort of thing. What do you think's going to happen then? I think something might start to change then. I don't think, once you rattle the people with power, authority and money, especially money, I think things might start to change. Just maybe. So yeah, put them there. Definitely put them there. Put them in all the affluent areas where the houses are like 3 million quid. They got massive estate houses, you know, massive double gates, massive driveways, massive detached houses, nice beautiful English villages. Yeah, stick them there. Do it. Brilliant. Well done. Masterstroke. I've got to see it. It's going to be awesome when the shit hits the fan. We cannot have a situation where it's only the poorest communities in the country that receive all of this dispersal of refugees and asylum seekers, he told GB News on Tuesday. Now, the thing is, the other thing you've got to remember is they're going to run out of space, because these people are not going to stop coming. They're just not going to stop coming, right? The tap is on, and it's on, and they're going to keep coming and coming and coming, and they're going to run out of room. They're going to have to put them in more wealthier. It's not because they're going, everybody should be fair. They're running out of space. They're literally running out of space, in my opinion. That's what they're doing. Anyway, thumbs up and subscribe, please. Thank you very much. His comments came in response to a question about protests which had taken place in the village of Piddington, Oxfordshire, over plans to provide accommodation for asylum seekers on a nearby former military base. But Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillip, responding to Burnham's comments, said, "We shouldn't be housing illegal immigrants anywhere, wealthy or not." But what are you, a Conservative? Where were you for the last 14 years? Labour has pledged to stop using asylum hotels, a costly form of accommodation that has become a focal point for anti-migrant protests. The government has sought to house migrants at military sites across the country instead. I wonder what's going to happen then, when, if you know, with the Russians, when we go to war properly with the Russians, and we're going to need these military bases back. I wonder what we're going to do then. Or are we going to be training up these people so they can go and fight for us? Now, there's a proposition. Maybe they should get them to sign that. Who knows what they're getting them to sign for all the stuff they get? Are they getting them to sign anything? Maybe they should say, now you have to join the military. You have to subscribe yourself for 5 years to the UK military if you want to stay. That'd be interesting, wouldn't it? And then they can go, right, we'll go off to war with Russia now. We've got a massive army of immigrants. They're not immigrants anymore, they're soldiers. We're going to send them off to fight the Russians. That'd be interesting. I don't think that'll happen either, you know what I mean? Imagine training them all up with weapons if they're not already. I mean, I don't know, that could be very problematic. I heard a thing, I heard it on X. A woman was saying that apparently, well, I won't get into it, this is YouTube, I won't get into it, but it's very bad if it's true what she was saying about weapons and military training in these special summer camps in the UK for these immigrants and asylum seekers. Anyway, Andrea, I know Piddington, very nice area. See, they are putting them in the countryside in new homes. Well, it's going to carry on, it's not going to stop. The government has sought to house migrants in military sites across the country, instead announcing in June that it planned to open 3 more, including a site in Bicester, Oxfordshire. The plans have prompted protests there, with residents of nearby Piddington voting to stage symbolic referendum on leaving the UK. Burnham said on Tuesday that he would listen to and address the concerns being raised. I don't know the issue yet in detail. Well, you should do. You're the Prime Minister. Maybe if you didn't off on holiday within 2 weeks of being the Prime Minister and you looked into these things, you'd be a bit more informed. You know what I mean? It's crap. But in some ways, as I understand it, it is about creating secure space, he said. Secure space. What about the secure space for everybody else? What about the secure space for everybody else? We understand people's concerns, do you though? And we'll look into the issues raised by the good people of Piddington. But he added, I do believe all parts of the country need to work to play their part. So who the fuck invited all this on us? We've all got to play our part, have we? Like I said, start filtering them into politicians' houses. Lead by example. Show us the way forward. Show us the way forward. Lead by example. Get them all in your second homes and your first homes. Get them all in there. Don't care if you've got a one-bedroom flat. Share it. Share it. All the politicians should have to take them. Every single last one of them before we are even asked about anything. But he added, I do believe all parts of the country need to work to play their part. After winning the Makerfield by-election in June, Burnham promised to end HMO Britain and said he would change Britain's asylum accommodation system. HMOs, or houses in multiple occupation, have been widely used by government contractors to house asylum seekers, often in lower-income urban areas. Speaking on BBC Breakfast on Wednesday morning, Immigration Minister Anne Turley said the number of hotels has gone from a peak of 400 under the Conservatives to 160 under Labour, and pledged all of them would be closed by 2029. Yeah, but where have they gone? Where have they gone? Where have you put them? If they're not in the hotels, where are they? Where are they? In what should be council houses for the people of this country that need them desperately, especially the young people. No, they're not interested. It's all getting this whole place is being dismantled. Ryan is here, everyone. Oh, right. So Ryan says, that's interesting, Ryan. Thank you very much for this. The village voted for Labour. They're a bunch of lefties. I don't feel anything for those people. Well, they're going to reap what they sow. They are literally going to reap what they've sown then, aren't they? Like you say, I've got no sympathy for them either. Every Labour constituency, which is wealthy, should definitely take them all. Definitely take them all. Good point. Well done, Ryan. Thank you. Turley said the government had already saved $1 billion by closing hotels. Yeah, but you ain't saved $1 billion. If they weren't here in the first place, if this weren't allowed in the first place, the money wouldn't even be a question. There wouldn't be any question about this sort of money. There wouldn't be any question about this sort of money at all. So you're not saved anything. You're spunking billions every year on this. You're not saving anything. Closing hotels and opening alternative secure sites for asylum seekers, including 2 former military bases, student accommodation, and they're the same sort of thing. I think this is about fairness, and we won't be asking anybody to take more than they can, and we won't be asking anyone to take more than their fair share. This is Labour. The Tories are the same. They're all the same. If any of you out there are watching this and you want change, restore Britain. That's your only vote, and I don't even know if that'll make any difference, to be perfectly honest. Not reform. Reform ain't going to stop this. Restore Britain is the only man who's saying millions must go. Millions must go. It'll be painful, it'll be this, it'll be that, but they got to go. This country needs an overhaul in more ways than I can even begin to imagine.
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
It's true. It's absolutely true. It's going down to it. What we've seen in the past is places like oh yeah, we've done all that. We've seen all her quotes, whatever. Last week, there were anti-immigration demonstrations in the town of Thetford, Norfolk, with protesters attempting to enter homes where they believed asylum seekers were living. In response to Burnham's interview, Philip reiterated the Conservatives' policy of leaving the European Convention of Human Rights in order to deport migrants to their country of origin or a safe third country, Andy Burnham just doesn't get it, he wrote on X. Illegal immigrants should be deported within a week on arrival to their country. They shouldn't even be allowed to get here. They shouldn't even be able to get here. We're an island, for fuck's sake. I'm a Restore member. Reform, laugh out. Yes, Restore, well done, Ryan. Government statistics showed there were 97,515 people in receipt of asylum support at the end of March. With 20,885 in a hotel accommodation. That's some massive bills. The figures added that 72,768 people were in other accommodation, including dispersal accommodation, which normally means houses in the community. The remaining 3,866 people were in receipt of subsistence support only, according to the government. The regions and nations with the highest number of asylum seekers in receipt of Home Office support included 19,578 in the northwest of England, 13,687 in London, 11,969 in the West Midlands, and 8,635 in Yorkshire and the Humber. The Home Office said the regions with the most supported asylum seekers as a proportion of their overall population were north east and northwest of England, with 26 and 25 supported people per 10,000 residents respectively. It added the local authorities with the highest numbers of supported asylum seekers within there were Glasgow City 3,870, Birmingham 2,172, Liverpool 2,053, Coventry 1,712 and Belfast 1,607. Burnham, during his time serving as the Mayor of Greater Manchester, threatened to block the region from housing any more asylum seekers in 2018. Didn't do it though, did he? He complained about the government's dispersal system and said Greater Manchester's public services could not continue to support disproportionate numbers of people compared with elsewhere in the country. Burnham at the time said the north east of England was housing 25% of the national population of asylum applicants who require housing and support, with Greater Manchester housing 70% of the region's region's numbers. The then Home Secretary said Sajid Javid replied by promising to work towards a fairer distribution. A fairer distribution. There shouldn't be any distribution. Shouldn't be happening, people. What's this, Ryan? Reform voters want same as Restore people will see through Nigel in the end. Yes. Control. In my opinion, it's been this for a long time. Nigel Farage is controlled opposition. He's there to take the right wing down the path of least resistance. That's what he's there for. Whether Restore is just a harder line on that, I don't know at this point. I don't know. We can only wait and see. Something's got to give somewhere with this, because, like I say, it's every day. They're coming, and they're not stopping. And that's without the problem of illegal immigration. There's a massive problem there as well. Huge numbers. None of these people should be able to come to this country if they haven't paid into the system and get any benefits. Nothing. They shouldn't be allowed to get anything. If you shouldn't be allowed to come to this country from another country, right? If you can't support yourself, and if you can't demonstrate that you've got 250 grand in the bank, right? You shouldn't be able to do it. You just shouldn't, because the strain on the people of this country is too heavy, and it's not. That's not fair. That, if they're talking about fairness, that is not fair, and in my opinion, it's unsustainable. Barbershops getting visas. Yeah, it's a scam, says Ryan. It's a massive scam. They shouldn't be able to get in here unless they can absolutely demonstrate they can support themselves. If they can support themselves, then all right, you're here. If you want to set up a business and you've got the money and you're creating, okay, fair. I've lived abroad. I've worked and lived in Spain when it was like we were in the EU. And you could do that legally and it was all fine. And I did all right. I worked and I made money and I did all right and had a nice life. So I understand what it is to go to another country and try and better yourself. That's fine. I ain't got a problem with that. But we should have rules so we're not getting the worst. So we're not getting the worst in here, because all I keep seeing is the worst of it. That's what I keep seeing. I'm not saying they're all bad, because not everybody's bad. There's bad in everybody, all groups, every race, all colours. I know that. But financially, on the government, on the people of this country, it's just not sustainable, and that isn't fair. So if they're going to talk about fucking fair, they need to address that issue first, in my opinion. Anyway, what else we got for you in the wonderful weird world of whatever the fuck this is? Oh, it gets even more bizarre. Have a look at this. Early release scheme risks more serious crimes, probation chief inspector warns. You can't make it up what they're doing. What the f are they doing? Now, you imagine, right, if they weren't allowing all these billions of pounds to be spent on all these illegals, right, which they are illegal, right? If they weren't spending all these billions of pounds, how many prisons could they build? One, maybe, just maybe, if they weren't letting all these people in, who we don't know what their past criminal records are, maybe, just maybe, the prisons wouldn't be so full. Now, I'm not saying that they are more prone to be criminals, but at the same time, I'm not saying they're not, because we aren't allowed to know the statistics of these things, which we're supposed to be an open society. We should absolutely have the right? We have the power. The people have the power, not the politicians, not the political system, not the Home Office. We, the people, have the power. We should be able to see everything. Everything. How many of them gone to Epstein's Island, mate?
Everyone!
Ah, yeah, of course they have. They should be answerable to all of us. Not to fucking what's going on in this clown world. People need to start waking up to the fact that we are sovereign. We are the people. We are in charge of this whole thing. Not them. Not them. They're answerable to us. And I hope one day that will proper come to fruition. And there might be then some sort of consequences.
The Führer couldn't have said it better himself.
Oh yes. If I had my way, it would be a different story altogether. I can assure you of that. The Chief Inspector of Probation for England and Wales has told the BBC the early release of thousands of prisoners could lead to a serious sexual or violent offence or even murder because the demands on probation staff to monitor offenders. The government is set to release 5,000 offenders from October as part of a new law new laws to create more space in overcrowded prisons. What the... Right. You've got prisons to hold prisoners, serious prisoners, which they don't do anymore. You can put... Somebody could watch this video. I could be dragged to court because I said something on a live stream, right, that could be seen to be whatever, right? Even though it's just words, just my opinion, just me thinking out loud on a stream, right? People have put stickers on lawful and legal stickers on and got 3 years. 3 years. That other woman, I can't remember her name, that conservative bloke's wife, she did an X post. 3 years. Three years, weren't it? Almost 3 years. And they wonder why the prisons are full. If you're going to start putting people in prison for stuff like that, of course the prisons are going to be full, you clueless morons. Of course they're going to be full. The prisons were not built for those sorts of crimes, if you like. No. That's what fines are for. That's what community service is all about. You're doing something, you say sorry, we forgive you. Go and do a bit of community service, say you're sorry, don't do it again, alright? So there will be more consequences for you. Oh, no. Straight to jail. Lunacy. Insanity. And then, you're going to release 5,000 proper criminals. So you can put more people in... What? What do you mean? So you've got prisons that are holding criminals, but you're going to let criminals go so you can put other criminals in. What? What sort of madness is this? Stop paying for people that shouldn't be here, right? Sort that out. Put the ones that are going to stay that you can't really do anything with in the politicians' houses, right? And their families' houses first. Do that, right? Then we're all going to be a bit more relaxed about it all. Then use the money you're saving, what you are really going to not have to spend, on building more prisons. To put proper criminals in, not people that are social media posting. Insanity. Oh, it's hate speech. Get over it. Grow up, for what is going on? Oh, somebody said a hurting word. Oh, give me a break, will ya? The government... probation officers supervise offenders after prison sentences and check they follow the terms of their release, such as sticking to curfews and not taking drugs. Well, how many of these 5,000 are just going to break all that rule anyway? And they're going to have to go back in. Well, it's insane. We're being led by absolute imbeciles, in my opinion. A Ministry of Justice spokesperson said, protecting the public is our top priority, so we're going to let 5,000 potentially dangerous criminals out back into society early. That sounds like you're protecting the people, don't it? Adding it had invested in probation and hiring trainee officers. But Martin Jones, His Majesty's Chief Inspector of Probation for England and Wales, told the BBC that ultimately, I'm not fully confident that the probation system will be able to cope with this massive work, and there's a risk that things will go wrong. This is the people who know how this all works. The top end of it, saying, actually, this ain't very clever. This is a bad idea, potentially. A Ministry of Justice spokesman said, I got that, shush. Probation services are already under unprecedented pressure. I mean, they're managing a caseload of 258,000 cases. That's nearly 3 times the number that are in our prisons. And obviously, the early release scheme will be increasing that pressure considerably. On Tuesday, 50 police chiefs across the UK signed a letter to the Prime Minister urging him to pursue every legal option to prevent the early release. Oh, that's all they're interested. That's all they're interested in the early release of PC Andrew Harper's killers under the scheme. Oh, we don't care that you're going to release 5,000 potentially really dangerous people back into society. We're more interested because one of ours got done, and you're going to let them out, or him out, or her out, or whoever it was who supposedly did it. They called for. This is the BBC. They called for. That's what it says there. They called for. What? That's what it says there.
What?
I know, they can't even use AI properly. They called for greater consideration of victims when prisoners had their sentences altered, adding, families across the country are now facing the distress of learning that offenders may be released may be released earlier than they understood when sentence was passed. They also welcomed Burnham's intervention on Tuesday when he said he was confident the early release of Jesse Cole and Albert Bowers, who were jailed for 13 years for manslaughter in 2020 in January, could be stopped. So that's what they're concerned about. What about all the other victims of these people's crimes? What about them? Nobody cares. Where's the compassion? Where's the fairness for those people? The actual people, the victims. Shadow Home Secretary Chris Phillip told BBC Breakfast the early release plans had put public safety at risk, as well as disrespecting victims and undermining confidence in the criminal justice system. You all talk. You wouldn't be doing nothing different if you was in power, mate, I can assure you. He urged Burnham to pay attention and listen to the senior police officers, adding he had never seen every chief constable in the country write to the Prime Minister directly in this way. No, because it's one of theirs. And they're not happy about that. All the other stuff that's gone on in this country, Convid, all the stuff that goes on, right? They're not signing nothing about any of that, are they? They're not signing nothing about any of that. None of the other stuff. They just obey the orders. The orders. But when it's one of theirs, and a couple of little crims are going to get out who did some bad things to one of theirs, oh, they're all signing it. They're all up in arms. He urged Burnham to pay attention, consider the country to right, Philip and Nick Timothy, the Conservative Shadow Justice Secretary, wrote to Burnham on Tuesday urging him to introduce emergency primary legislation in September to amend the Sentencing Act 2026. The letter said grooming gang perpetrators, including those convicted of indecent assault and those convicted on the manslaughter of an emergency worker, should be exempt from the early release scheme. There shouldn't even be an early release scheme. Stop putting people that don't belong in prison in prison. Just stop doing it. What's wrong with you? Probation officers in state of panic. Probation officers help former prisoners with housing, employment and access to benefits once in the community, and help protect the public by assessing the risk of further offending. Their workload will increase substantially when more offenders, some of whom will have been convicted of violent offences and released months earlier than planned as part of the Sentencing Act. According to the Chief Inspector, probation caseload has increased by 8% over the last 2 years. Much of what is down to a separate early release scheme, which was implemented in 2024 after prisons nearly reached full capacity. But you still ain't built no more prisons, have you? You can give all the money to Ukraine. You can give all the money to the military for this war you want to fight with Russia. You can do all of that. You can give it to a load of illegals. You can give all this money, hundreds of millions, billions, hundreds of billions, who knows how much. But you ain't got the money to build a prison. And you keep putting people who shouldn't actually be in prison. Whose fault is it? The scheme has led to tens of thousands of offenders being let out sooner. When asked what risk the additional early releases due to start in the autumn could pose to the public, Jones said that could be a serious sexual or violent offence, or even murder. Defy Tyrants. Did I say hello to Defy Tyrants? Just in case I didn't. Defy Tyrants is here, everybody. You have about 90,000 in prison in the UK. America has 2 million. Yeah, but look at the size of your country, the size of ours. I don't think we fit into the state of Texas. Do you know what I mean? I don't think our country fits into the state of Texas. I could be wrong. Our probation officer, one probation officer told the BBC the up-and-coming releases had put him and his colleagues into a state of panic. We cannot cope with this. We've been saying that to anybody who will listen. At the minute, I think it's pure panic in terms of where we're at. I don't understand how there can be this level of pressure put on us. The worst that can happen is that things are missed. Plans aren't put into place, and we don't give people the level of service they need, and that leads to serious future offences. That leads to death under supervision, and people should be held accountable for that. If this goes terribly wrong, whoever did all this, whoever signed all this off, whoever's responsible, they should all pay the price. And then I'd be quite happy to release a few prisoners to get them in there. In a statement at MOJ, an MOJ spokesperson said the department had exceeded its recruitment target for the last year, with 1,389 trainee probation officers starting. Trainees. No experience. Hardened criminals who are devious, cunning, all of that. And they got trainees who probably got a septum piercing, an orange or blue or pink hair. Maybe, potentially, allegedly. The spokesperson said this is making sure the probation service has the resource it needs to keep dangerous offenders under closer surveillance than ever before. If you keep them in the prison, they're under surveillance, mate. If you don't let them go, they're under surveillance. There's no drama. The fact is, right, the government is supposed to be there to protect the people. That's their main priority. And they're failing at it everywhere. So it should be disbanded. It should absolutely be I don't know why it isn't disbanded. Because they're actually failing. So their main objective is to protect the people of the country. And they're not doing that. So it should be disbanded. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know why we're having to put up with this nonsense. I don't. I really don't know why. The Sentencing Act is restoring order to a prison system left on the brink of collapse, while our record £700 million investment in probation and community punishment is ensuring staff have resources, powers and technology that need to manage offenders safely in the community, the spokesperson added. On Tuesday, probation officers voted in favour of strike action over the scheme. So what happens if they all go on strike? Then there's nobody. Gun is here, everybody. How you doing, Gun? Good to see you. They go all on strike, then there's nobody. There's fucking nobody. It's a shit show. And you can only blame the government and the governments before them. All the politicians. They should all just get out now and let somebody get in there who can sort this out. Oh, but the people vote. No, they didn't. 25,000 people. Makerfield, Burnham, Prime Minister. You're having a fucking laugh. Piss take. The ballot wasn't about members being too busy. NAPO National Chair Ben Cockburn said, it was professionals warning they cannot protect the public properly when there are not enough people to do the work. The MOJ said it was disappointed by the ballot outcome. Inspectorate reports published between January and March 2026 highlight staffing gaps in probation. Blah, blah, blah. It goes on and on and on. It's a nonsense. It's an insanity. That's what it is, in my opinion. It is. It's insane. Wow, Gaz, you were right. The UK has about 90,000 square miles. Texas has 265,000 square miles. America has 3.8 million square miles. I didn't know the UK was that small compared to America. Mate, we're a speck. We're a little island. That's why everybody's getting pissed off. We're a tiny little island, mate. A little island that ruled the world. Anyway, shush. Of course we did. And if we would have been with the other lot at the same time... well, things would have had a different whole turn altogether, wouldn't they? But yeah. Anyway, shalom all along. So that is that. What else have we got for you? I haven't got long left. In more ways than one, probably. If I carry on like this and somebody picks it up, I'll be in a hell of a lot of trouble. Oh, well. Oh, God. It gets worse. Burnham warned Iran war could hit UK growth next year. Of course it's going to hit UK growth. Of course it is. It's meant to. Oil refineries going up. You know, nobody knows. In Lebanon, yesterday I said about it. Nobody knows where it's all coming from, all these drones. What? You what? Yeah. You know, the Strait of Hormuz, America's incompetency, all by design. Who's been to Epstein's Island, mate?
Everyone!
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, so he's been warned that the Iran... We're probably going to run out in water at this rate. Andy Burnham has been warned that the UK economy could barely grow next year if disruption in the Strait of Hormuz continues until the end of 2026. Well, it's going to, isn't it? Because Iran have won the war and America has lost the war. It's that simple. That's the fact. Treasury sources have confirmed that internal modelling presented to the new Prime Minister and Chancellor suggests UK GDP growth could be as low as 0.3% in 2027. As first reported by Bloomberg. Government officials say... But anyway, so that's more grimness. Right? I mean, it's pretty obvious, isn't it? If you're going to close the Strait of Hormuz, prices are going to go up because the price of oil... It's just a shit show all round. It's just the whole thing. It's just one clusterfuck after the next, in my opinion. I don't know what you think. Please like and subscribe. Lovely. Thanks. If you got this far and you've been watching it, good to see you. Make a comment in the chat. I'd like to say hello. And welcome you to all the other lovelies that come in here. So, where are we? Where are we? Well, where are we? We're in a... I don't know. It's just insane. This is interesting. For more reasons than you'll think. Danube River's low water levels reveal remains of World War II soldiers and motorcycle. Now, why is that interesting? Well, it's very interesting for a lot of reasons, actually. I'll get into it. The bodies of 2 World War II German soldiers have been found in Budapest Danube River due to record low water levels after an intense drought. Now, the first thing to take out of this is that's 80 years old. The thing they found there is 80 years old. And the German soldiers as well, right? So that's in the day. So that's been there for 80 years. But now the Danube in Budapest has only been that low now to find that bike and those soldiers, right? Well, what's going on with the water then? Because if it would have been like this before, the Danube had gone down that low before, they'd have found that bike then. So it obviously hasn't gone that low before. Watch the water. Remember? For those of you who've been watching my stream, it's very important that you pay attention to the coming potential water catastrophe that we're all looking at. And we literally are. And that reaffirms it for me. Found alongside their remains were the identification tags of the 2 soldiers, a largely intact German army Wehrmacht, I can't know how you spell it, I'll say it, motorcycle, a wedding ring, and a Cuban shield, a combat badge, and a Wehrmacht, the German War Graves Commission said. The remarkable finds have sparked hope that some families, right, and it goes into that. It's not saying, look, for the first time in 80 years, this river's never been so low. It's not getting into that. But that's the fact of it. That's what I saw when I looked at that. The water's everywhere. How many of the places are getting their rivers are going down so low like that? For the first time in over 80 years. And it's still not rained, has it? Telling you, make sure you've got some way of getting water if this all goes tits up. Because there's no sign of rain still. There's still no sign of rain. Very concerning. And I thought I'll end with this one. I thought this was quite funny. DNA reveals Stone Age era stout man was actually a woman. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's have a look. A gold worker from the time of Stonehenge thought to have been a stout man, has been revealed to be a woman after new DNA evidence. Well, is it though? How do you know the stout man, right, wasn't a woman identifying as a man? Too many laughs, Gaz. Too many laughs. Well, it might have been, mightn't it? You know, these days they say, I can actually be called Glenda, put on a skirt, a bit of makeup, and then I am as a woman. And I can still keep my beard and my willy. And you would have to see me as a woman, because I am a woman, if I say so. So how do you know Stone Man weren't a woman identifying as a man back in them days? How do you know that weren't a thing? You know what I mean? It's crazy, isn't it? Right, anyway, what we got? Defy Tyrants. Hang on. Defy Tyrants. You guys are being overrun by invaders. Somebody needs to do something about it. Damn shame. It is a shame. Don't worry, though, Defy Tyrants. When the shit really hits the fan, I'm going to get my passport and I'm going to come and live with you, mate, if that's all right. Too many laughs, guys. Too many laughs. On that note, anyway. Yeah. Oh, sorry, wrong button. On that note, I will depart. I will be back tomorrow for my last stream of the week. If you're new here, you made it this far. Thanks. If you could do a thumbs up, a little comment in the thing, and a subscribe, that'd be wonderful. I love getting new subscribers. It very rarely happens. Also, if you already are subscribed, can you check? Because honestly, I'm not even joking. I get subscribers, and then in a couple of days later, YouTube, they're gone. I don't know if it's YouTube. I don't know what's going on. It's really weird. It's very puzzling. Anyway, that's me. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed being here for you. I hope you enjoyed it. It's great to see you all. You take care. And until tomorrow, don't get lost or killed.
We keep on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling. No, we ain't slowing it down.
We ain't slowing
keep
down.
on moving. We keep on moving along. We keep on rolling.
Yeah,
No, we ain't slowing it down.
let's go. We ain't slowing down, baby. Come and show me how. Gotta do it right now. You know you gotta hold me down. Can I let the moment pass? Good things they never last. Pull up in a whip, you know I had to hit the gas. Yeah, that's premium. Pull up with a team and I'm ain't worried about the other side. They know that they ain't beating. I'm on everything I love. Work to the man above. Keep it cool, calm, collected. At this point, you get the message. Life is hectic, but we gotta keep it rolling, no. Gotta keep it moving like we stole it, though. Rolling with the punches, giving hits like we are Interscope. Even though I'm clocking, punching in, I'm independent, though. Staying prayed up, ain't nothing gon' phase us. Ain't never gon' let a lame say what they just made up. I never take a pay cut, we getting what we worth in. I never change the blueprint, cause we know it's really working.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep
on
it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down,
Keep
never
on moving.
moving.
We keep on moving along.
moving, keep it moving,
keep
keep
on
it
rolling.
rolling.
No, we ain't
Keep it rolling, keep
slowing
it
it
moving, we
down.
ain't never gonna lose it. Cause we in it for the movement. If I'm lying, then I'm flying. Don't play into their amusement. If we trying, we ain't dying. Never sleep, never sleep, never. The moment that you rest your head, they think they can compete. If you gotta skip steps, then the plan is not complete. Get your reps in, get your reps in, get your. Never rest on a past success. You gotta love what you do if you tryna be the best.
Keep on moving.
Moving,
We keep on moving along.
keep it moving, keep it rolling.
No, we ain't slowing it down.
Never slowing down, never
Moving.
moving.
We keep on moving
Keep it
along.
moving, keep it moving, keep it
Rolling.
rolling.
No, we
Keep
ain't
it rolling, keep it
slowing
moving. We ain't never gonna lose it.
Who's been to Epstein?